So by the end of this video, if you are not convinced that Triangle Infinity Circle will be the next Bitcoin, will be the next major cryptocurrency, then you can call me a liar. But make sure that you watch this video till the end. For those of you that haven't been living under a rock, I'm sure you've heard of cryptocurrency by now. I'm sure you've heard of Bitcoin by now. Bitcoin was founded in 2009 by this guy who goes by the name Satoshi Nakamoto. Satoshi Nakamoto published the Bitcoin white paper, which is considered by some as one of the most important computer science papers ever published. This paper explained Satoshi's new protocol, new consensus mechanism, and tokenization of this currency he called Bitcoin. Satoshi's new currency was revolutionary because it removed the middleman, aka the bank, out of the equation and replaced the bank with a computer algorithm that acted as a consensus, acted as a way to validate the authenticity of transactions without the need of human intervention. This new protocol was paradigm shifting because historically, for hundreds of years, the banks have acted as the middleman. But over time, the centralized nature of the banks, the corruption, led to a banking cartel that has used money to control people, to control the world for hundreds of years. So Satoshi Nakamoto's new protocol gave humanity an option for the first time in history. Bitcoin provided humanity a decentralized option, allowing people to store their wealth and to transact and to trade with each other with minimal friction, minimal fees. As for the consensus mechanism, Bitcoin uses the proof of work algorithm, which is a computer algorithm that solves certain complex math puzzles to be able to verify transactions and add no blocks to the blockchain. Tokenization-wise, Bitcoin has a maximum supply of 21 million Bitcoins. This hard cap prevents more Bitcoins from being printed, which could lead to inflation and a devaluing of the currency. Unlike traditional banks, where currency can be printed arbitrarily, causing inflation and devaluing of the currency. In essence, Bitcoin was an improvement of fiat currency, which was supposed to be backed by gold, called the gold standard. But as aforementioned, due to corruption, fiat currency is no longer backed by anything. So Bitcoin provided a way for us to escape that corruption and to trade with each other globally with minimal friction, minimal restrictions, minimal fees. Despite all the positives, there remains one big issue. Bitcoin is stuck in a computer. Bitcoin is a computer algorithm, it's a software that can only exist in a computer. Unlike traditional currencies that can exist in physical and digital form, such as gold, cash, or digital cash, Bitcoin can only exist on a computer. And for anyone that has basic computer science knowledge, you know that all computers can be hacked with enough sophistication and enough computation. So the question is, even though Bitcoin is considered safe and secure today, in 2024, will Bitcoin remain safe and secure long-term into the future? Not 10 years, not 20 years, not 100 years, 1,000 years. Will Bitcoin remain secure? That's the question that we must answer. The Bitcoin Maxis, which is a community of Bitcoin's biggest supporters, argue that Bitcoin is the hardest money that man has ever created. They argue that Bitcoin's decentralized nature prevents such an attack, such a hack on the network. But is that the case in the future? Will Bitcoin be secure against attacks and hacks when quantum computers become more prevalent? If you've kept up with the technology news, you'll be aware that companies like Google are releasing quantum chips, quantum computers that can do trillions of years of computation that a traditional computer would do in a matter of seconds. Should the Bitcoiners be worried? Is Bitcoin vulnerable to a quantum computer attack? Is Bitcoin quantum resistant? The answer is yes. Bitcoin is vulnerable to a quantum computer attack in the future, despite its current perceived security. So the question is, what are the Bitcoin maxis going to do about this problem? One solution that I've heard is to fork the network by creating a quantum resistant chain that Bitcoiners will be able to transition their current asset to. But that involves too many complications. And all the wallets on the network that are not forked will remain vulnerable. So a substantial amount of Bitcoin will remain hackable. So how do we solve this problem in a way that forking is not required?